Hello everyone, this is the Prussian Prince with another Total War Attila tournament match cast, and this is the final of the new era tournament match between Asseror of VM and Orgetorix of Agartha. This is a best of 7 and rules, well, max 2 Royal Lancers, max 2 Horse Hewers / Slayers, and all the DLCs are allowed, I believe. Again, max 8 Cav, max 4 Pikes, max 4 Missile Cav, max 6 Foot Skirms, max 6 of the same unit, and of course the standard maps: Plains, Cobblestone, Woodland, and Swamp. And no red line camping, no forest camping, no pike box, no hill camping and such. That is basically how it is. But anyway, regarding those, regarding the replays that I have here of this match, because I am casting a replay, this isn't me spectating the game, I'm just looking over the replays. These replays are pre-hotfix, pre-Blood and Gore patch hotfix, so just keep that in mind. And even though apparently there are really no balancing changes apart from removing the precursors on units like Germanic Levy, and I think there was another unit as well, which I forgot what it's called, but even though it only does that, it still messes up with replays, even though those units are not used. So I'm not quite sure how the replays are messed up, but hopefully these replays won't be so messed up. Anyway, in this first game, we have Orgetorix playing as the Alans and the Asseror as the Burgundians. Now, Alans versus Burgundians. Obviously, I am really thinking that the Burgundians are in favorite in this matchup. Let's see. I'm gonna go over the build of the Alans here. We have the Alani General with Brace. Up front we see 2 Germanic Archers in the center, 2 Germanic Hurlers on each flank. Then we actually do have 2 Elite Sarmatian Cataphracts, interesting choice. And looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, is it 5 Noble Alani Cav, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Noble Alani Cavalry indeed. Then in terms of actual sword units, well, we have a mix of Elite Agthirsi and Sarmatian Warband. Looks like 3 Sarmatian Warband and 2 Elite Agthirsi Warriors. Now for the Burgundian build, well, let's see, we have the Germanic Nobles General with Brace. There are 2 Germanic Pikes up front. We also have, let's see, 3 Germanic Bows. A bunch of Burgundian Axemen over here, looks like 3, 4, 5 Burgundian Axemen. Then we have over here 1 Scattershot Hurler. In terms of cavalry, well, let's see. An odd choice, actually. So, okay, 2 Royal Lancers, that's good. But then we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Noble Germanic Horsemen, and 1 Bronze 1 Barbed Lancer. So that is the Burgundian build, but let's watch this engagement over here. Because right now, as you can see, all these pikes are just getting destroyed, but the skirmishes of the Alans are now in a bit of danger. But they're going to pull back, and they might get caught by the Burgundian cavalry, which would be massive. But the thing is, if the cavalry charges here, especially the Royal Lancers, that's what I'm thinking about, the cavalry of the Alans can get in without getting charged, hopefully for them. So it looks like the Elite Sarmatian Cataphracts get a charge off onto the Noble Germanic Horsemen, whereas the Noble Germanic Horsemen waste their charge on the Hurlers. Here we have Royal Lancers getting a charge off onto the Noble Lani. These Hurlers are gonna get destroyed, actually. Yeah, these Hurlers are going to die here to the Pikes, but actually the Pikes are losing a lot of men, considering the engagements over here. As you can see, the Noble Germanic Horse took a lot of damage from the Elite Sarmatian Cataphract charge. On this flank, though, as you can see, the Noble Lani Cavalry is actually holding out pretty well against 2 Royal Lancers, all things considered. And now with the Elite Agthirsi coming in, it should go fine for the Alans. Though this cavalry unit not getting a charge off now is going to get stopped by a lot of units. A nice scav charge destroying this pike unit. It's going to rout it off the field, and now these Barbed Lancers cannot get their charge off. The Slingers over here beating Germanic Pikes in melee. That is quite funny. But over here, the thing is, the Alani General, yes, excellent charge onto the Burgundian Axemen. but now he's taken a lot of damage thanks to the scattershot hurlers. He's getting focused by some Germanic bows. He's already losing a lot of men, so that's not good for the Alans. But here, a very nice charge, not only connecting with the Burgundian axemen, but also with the Germanic bows and noble Germanic horsemen. So this should theoretically do a lot of damage. Now we have more units coming in for the Alans, some Sarmatian warband. More Sarmatian warband as well here, doing lots of damage to the noble Germanic horsemen. Alani general being pulled back, which is great because this means that he is not going to die, and that is very important. As you can see here, the Sarmatian warband are pushing through the noble Germanic horsemen. These engagements over here, well, clearly these two cavalry units for the Alans are going to die, but if they hold out for longer, looks like we're going to have some nice Sarmatian warband charges over here, flanking charges, and this noble Germanic horseman going to die. The right flank is doing very well for the Alans here, as you can see, crushing through the Burgundian axemen. Only 6 kills on the Burgundian axemen. Not good at all for them, but over here, as you can see, the Alani general is pretty much dead right now, which is huge, and now he's just going to go in. Well, I mean, he might as well, considering that he's dead right now. There's no point in keeping him alive because he's dead. Now these Burgundian axemen, though, are surrounded by all these units, so they should start wavering, and they've also taken a lot of damage, so they might just rout off the field. We should see these cavalry units mopping up the skirmishers and noble Germanic horsemen here, standing around doing nothing, maybe replay corruption. Over here, though, the Royal Lancers are definitely going down to the elite Agathyrsi warriors. Now these skirmishers over here not getting destroyed. Okay, targeting this unit. Very strange. I guess it is the replay corruption. It does not make sense otherwise. And why chase this unit when they could be charging the Germanic nobles general? I guess this game is just pretty bugged, and these units are still on the field here. Okay, this is weird. This is very weird. And these units are just gonna walk in. They have attacker on totally another unit. Yeah, this replay is pretty damn weird, but it seemed okay for a lot of the engagement, though. Like, I could believe it. But right now, I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, looks like the Alans have definitely won it here. And we do have the battle statistics this time around. Nicely done. Let's look at them. So the Alans, lots of kills on the elite Agathyrsi and Sarmatian warband, as expected. Noble Alani doing extremely well here too. Getting lots of damage done to those Burgundian axemen, very necessary. Now the units for the Burgundians, not a lot done here, and I would have preferred to see a second Barb Lancer instead of more noble Germanic horsemen, I think. But oh well, maybe it's just me. I mean, Barb Lancers are medium compared to heavy, so maybe that's why he did it. But yeah, that is first game going to Orgetorix, so I shall see you in game number 2. And this is game 2 of the match, currently 1-0 for Orgetorix. And this game, we're going to have Orgetorix commanding the Huns and Asseror commanding the Vandals. So, Huns here should go very well for Orgetorix, but let's go over the builds. Steppe Warlord with Brace. As for the cavalry, a bunch of noble steppe cataphracts. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? Looks like 5 noble steppe cataphracts, indeed. And then 2 regular steppe cataphracts and the steppe warlord with Brace, as I was saying earlier. Up front, we have 4 steppe bows. In terms of melee, 2 ore warriors on each flank and 2 ore warriors in the center. Now for the Vandals. Let's see, Vandal Warlord General with Brace. In terms of cavalry, well, we see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Noble Anicap, as you would expect. Then we do have some Shock Cav, a single Germanic Lancer, I believe. So that is 7, and it means 8 cavalry in total. So yeah, that is the max of cavalry. The general is included again. So let's see, we have 2 Vandal Berserkers on the right over here, bronze 1. 2 Vandal Berserkers on the left, bronze 1. Then we have 2 Noble Germanic Swordsmen in the center. 1 is bronze 1. We have, again, interestingly enough, Sarmatian Spear Dogs on each flank. Looks like one of them has no chevrons. Then we have, not quite sure about this formation. The hurlers in the center instead of on the flanks. Not entirely sure about that. I prefer to put hurlers on the flanks, but oh well. But yeah, looks like 2 Germanic bows in total and 2 Germanic hurlers. So those are the builds. I do think this could go very well for the Huns because of the noble step cataphracts and such. Very strong cavalry, and the Ors. Like the Vandals are gonna have a very rough time against those Ur warriors. Looks like the dogs have been released here by the Vandals, and they're gonna just make it straight into the step bows. Let's see the amount of kills they get. Oh, these guys just dropping rapidly the step bows to the dogs. Actually losing about 30 and going to lose even more. Noble step cataphracts though coming in here, and they're going to deal with the dogs. You would think at least. But the step bows, this full unit has almost died, which is insane to the dogs. And now we have focus fired from the Germanic bows, still doing a decent amount of damage here, as you can see. They don't have too much damage, but oh, this noble step cataphract, not well done here with this unit. Now it's pulling out. I mean, this noble Lanicav already definitely paying for itself by killing off the noble step cataphract and the step bow. Now though, it did not seem to get a charge off onto the Ur, so that is huge. Here seems to be a very similar thing. Ooh, the step cataphract's pulling out of the engagement against noble Lanicav. Now the noble Lanicav are going to destroy them. But this looks very weird. Maybe it's not what actually happened in the battle. Here though, noble step cataphract's charging into the noble Lanicav. And the Vandal Berserkers here winning against Ur warriors. And now a nice charge by the noble Lanicav. Very, very nice here. Noble step cataphract charge into Germanic Lancers. Well, we know who wins that. Here noble Lani cavalry are fighting against Urs, but the Urs did not get charged, it seems. The left flank going terribly for the Huns though, and the right going extremely well though, as the center right as well. And even here is a very good engagement. This noble Lani cavalry is going to lose to the Ur warrior in prolonged melee. So here you can see the noble Lani cav just taking so much damage here. It's going to die soon, but this means Vandal Berserkers rapid advancing into the fight here. Noble step cataphracts gonna pull away here. These Urs going to start engaging in combat. Noble step cataphracts trying to go around for a rear charge, probably on this noble Lani cav to just rout it off the field. These noble Germanic swordsmen going in, not in shield wall though. That is something to keep in mind. But on this flank, looks like these Ur warriors just fighting so hard against all these units. And these Urs here too, trading extremely well against the Vandal Berserkers. But nice shots here by those Germanic bows. And now this cavalry is going to have to pull out. But here the two Urs are going to have a field day against a single Vandal Berserker. The dogs trying to go around for some rear charges, it seems, or the dog handlers. But so much damage done to the noble step cataphracts here by the Germanic bows. More of these cavalry units coming into the fray, but again it looks a bit odd what's happening over here. Okay, so but the general is rounding off the field for the Huns right now. This is not great. They are, however, they turned their left flank around with a single Ur warrior. Wow. On the right though, still doing fairly well. Not quite sure why these units are pulling out. They're still kind of like fighting here. Maybe again replay the sync. Hopefully not. But these units for the Vandals are going to start dropping very fast as they're engaged with these Urs, and the general is done for the Huns. But is it going to matter, because the Vandal general might die soon? And let's zoom in right now, because it pretty much looks to be over. These units, I guess they're not supposed to be on the field. But yeah, the general of the Vandals is being engaged. These units are being engaged by lots of Urs, so they're going to die. Noble step cataphracts, not quite sure what they're doing here. Yeah, it looks like, again, replay corruption, unfortunately, which is very weird because there are no balancing changes mentioned in the patch notes, besides Germanic Levy. But we don't have Germanic Levy in this fight, so this is very strange how the replays work and how they get corrupted. Like, I really wish they could implement a way to watch replays of previous versions of the game. Like, for instance, you can do that in StarCraft, and I believe other competitive games as well. So this is a little bit unfortunate, honestly, because this definitely looks like replay corruption. But let's look at the stats. Ur warriors again this is what made the game for the Huns, as you would expect. The Warlord is just an insane melee unit. Noble Step Counterfract, some of them doing quite well actually against the Noble Lani Cavalry and such. Sarmatian Spears, lots of kills, but a lot of them on the Step Bows, so one would have to wonder if that's actually worth it. Vandal Berserkers getting some damage done, but against Ors they really don't have much of a chance. But yeah, currently 2-0 for Orgetorix. Needs 2 more wins in order to win this tournament. So see you in game 3. And this is game 3 of the match between Orgetorix and Asseror. We have Eastern Romans for Orgetorix and Saxons for Asseror. So this is going to be an interesting one. I would maybe put the Saxons, yeah, I'd put the Saxons a little bit favored in, yeah, I'd definitely favor them in this situation, but let's see. So, for the Eastern Romans, we have Commes Brace General, then we have 3 Equites Promoti on the right, 3 Equites Promoti on the left, and in the center, a Tagmata Cav, Bronze 1, and that means 8 Cav. Now up front we see 4 Funditores, supported by 2 Protectores Domestici. Then on the left, 2 Heterea Guards. On the right, 2 Heterea Guards. What do we have for the Saxons? Well, let's go ahead and see. We have this Nordic Warlord General with Brace. And then we have a bunch of really strong cav, it seems. So on the left, 4 Nordic Horse Lords. On the right, a Nordic Horse Lord and 3 Heroic Cavalry. So definitely huge cav advantage for the Saxons here. We also have a Warhound on each flank. We have 2 Nordic Hurlers in total, with a Nordic Bow on the left flank. Then we have, let's see, as I suppose a defensive component in the center, 2 Hearth Guards. And we have some axes as well, the good old axes. 2 Axe Warriors on the right, and looks like 2 Axe Warriors on the left. That seems to be the contingent for, or rather army I should say, for the Saxons. Let's fast forward a little bit, because it looks like they're just going to be skirmishing a lot here. Are these units going up a bit too far, the Funditores? So the engagement might actually start here. Okay, looks like it's not going to start, but the Warhounds again are gonna make it into these Funditores. Not a big deal, but still quite important. The dogs are released, so these Funditores are just dropping down fast in numbers. Equites Promoti going to go in against the dogs now, though. That's very good for the Equites Promoti, obviously, because the dogs cannot really do too much. But that being said, they did lose a man. Not quite sure if it was to the Warhounds or something. So here, trying to engage the Warhounds, but they did not. More Warhounds on the field here. Doesn't look like they killed too many of these Funditores, though. Ooh, so now the Funditores are going to slow down the right flank of the Saxons very considerably. But these Funditores are now going to be engaged in melee, so as they pull out, they're going to lose maybe just a couple of men, because it's the dog handlers, I suppose. Okay, looks like they've just pulled out successfully without losing anything. But now we have the Protectores Domestici charging into the dog handlers on the right flank. We should see, yeah, these guys are getting charged, interestingly enough. So now all these cavalry units and the axes getting targeted, because we definitely, yeah, the Eastern Romans definitely want to slow down the attack of the Saxons as they come in and do more damage with the Funditores. But the Funditores are routing off the field, which is very bad right now, and lots of ammo still left for the Saxons as well on these hurlers. So definitely going to have a skirmish advantage for, I mean, the Saxons are going to have one. 2 Nordic hurlers and a Nordic bow against, let's see, 2 Funditores. Okay, 3 Funditores, so it's not that big of a deal. In fact, I'd argue that these Funditores are more useful than the Nordic bows. So here, as you can see, the Warhounds getting destroyed by Tagmatas, but Tagmatas taking some damage as well here. Now they're getting shot at and losing a lot of men to the Nordic Horse Lords, it seems. Like 3 kills, and now these Nordic bows targeting more, actually getting a kill on the Tagmata as well. Very important over there. Nordic Horse Lords just doing more of their work here. Protectorus Domestici being a bit too far out, actually. I don't know why they have an attack order. Okay, no, it's the Funitoris that have an attack order on the Axe Warriors. Wow, they killed so many of these Axe Warriors, down to 99. But the rest of the Axes have not lost a lot, actually. Just 3 lost on that one. But yeah, that is actually significant losses on the Axe Warriors. So here come the Cav Charges, the Nordic Horse Lords. As you can see, because their speed was reduced, they can barely go in. It's just so difficult for them to charge in. But these Protectorus Domestici, nicely done. They are using the attacking Testudo. Which means they should be braced, but actually this charge did not really do anything against the Protectorus. Maybe it was just a move order. Would explain things. And now the Protectorus Domestici are going to trade extremely well here. The Comets General just waltzing in here, which I'm not quite sure about. And here come the Equites Promote, charging into the Heroic Cav. A lot of free charges off onto these cavalry units. So this engagement should go well for the Eastern Romans. And now the Haetorias also making it first in here with the Rapid Advance ability. More Haetorias coming in, and these Haetorias in this blob, they are going to do a lot of damage. So the Equites Promote here, I mean, I really like the right flank for Eastern Romans. It's just the token flank with all these Funditoris. So this is very, very cool by the Romans here. But as you can see here, the cavalry of the Romans is very, very weak in comparison to the Saxon one. However, the axes of the Romans just doing a lot of damage to these axe warriors. This is just insane here. They're getting so many kills right now and not losing anything almost. These axes over here also doing a significant amount of work. While the Protectorists are tanking, the axes are doing the damage. Similar thing here with Hearthguard and axe warriors, but clearly this combination is far better than the Saxon one over there in the center. Equites Promoti charging in here, getting into the slingers and stopping the horse lords. So this is good, but the Equites Promoti are going to eventually lose to these horse lords here. But we have another Haeteria guard that can be sent in for the Romans. Hetagmatas here, it looks like there's going to be a calf fight here, which might go way of the Romans, but this Haeteria getting charged, so it's actually going to die soon to all these cavalry units, but not before it does more damage. So yeah, it should get a couple more kills here against the horses. Yeah, it's getting they're getting a significant amount. Here these Haeterias gonna be so effective against the horse lords, especially as they didn't get charged. Here though, the Hearthguards pushing through. These cavalry units still on the field for the Saxons, and if the Saxons charge in, it's going to be very important if they get the charges off onto the infantry of the Eastern Romans. But these Haeterias in such a good spot. Not these units though, so it looks like they broke. Haeterias though coming in here to destroy these horse lords. More units going in for the Saxons have this unit that has 98 men, and looks like it's going to try and get a charge off, but yeah, they're going to get rid of those Protectorus Domestici. Oh, the general is actually dead for the Eastern Romans. I did not see that. Haeteria guards, you're gonna get charged, and they're trying to pull away, but they get caught here by all these units. Again, I wonder if this is exactly how the game went. Probably not, but we'll see. So the Haeteria is here charging forward with Headhunt. Okay, does not look like... No, this isn't the good moment for Headhunt, so again, it must be because of the desync. Here these hurlers are going to soon be off the field. The Nordic Warlord engaging, it looks like a Tagmata and an Equites Promoti. So that's not going to be good for the Nordic Warlord, but this is quite a close game right now. And actually, Haeteria guards here making it into the rear of these Axe Warriors, and still a decent amount of Saxon units, but this is very odd. These units are, I guess they're out of... not supposed to be here because they're not doing anything, as are these Protectorus Domestici. Okay, so the Saxon general is gone. This is very bad for the Saxons, obviously, and looks like soon we're gonna have the end of this weird, very weird game. I don't know how else to put it, but let's just zoom in and watch these Protectorus fight against the skirmishes. This is not a good engagement for the skirmishers, of course. Well, that being said, there are some Hearthguards here, and there are more than Protectorus Domestici, so that's gonna go well for them. Not for the skirmishers, though. Hoo-hoo! Those death animations. But again, a lot of decapitations that I've noticed. Again, another one in this game. But let's just fast forward to the end of the replay, which is fairly strange. But as you can see here, looks like... let's look at the stats. Heteria guards can clearly say that they were super effective in this game. Even Orgetorix Domestici doing a significant amount of work. Tagmanas and Equitus Promoting doing some damage. But I mean, they're really not going to do too well against Nordic Horse Lords or Heroic Cavalry. But on the other hand, for the Saxons, Axe Warriors not doing a lot. I mean, granted, they were up against the Heteria Guards. And then these Heroic Cavalry kind of wasted, honestly. And the Nordic Horse Lords, some of them doing extremely well. And obviously, they killed off the Equitus Promoti, which is important to note. Yeah, currently 3-0 for Orgetorix. He's just a single game away from winning this whole tournament. So let's see how it goes in the next game. And this is game 4 of the match. Let's look at the factions. Well, we have Burgundians for Orgetorix and Huns for Asseror. This is a very interesting matchup. It's kind of balanced. I mean, the Huns can definitely beat the Burgundians, though I still think that the Burgundians have a bit of an advantage here, but let's see. Anyway, Burgundians controlled by Orgetorix and Huns controlled by Asseror. So, Burgundian build. Royal Burgundian General with Brace. Then we have, supporting the General, looks like 2 Barbed Lancers in the center. Make that 3 Barbed Lancers. Now on the left we have a Royal Lancer Bronze 1 with a Barbed Lancer. On the right we have Barbed Lancer Vanilla and a Royal Lancer Bronze 1. In terms of axes, well, we have 2 Burgundian Axemen Silver 2 on the right, not Silver 2, Bronze 2, my bad, and 2 Bronze 2 Burgundian Axemen on the left as well. We actually do have another Burgundian Axeman, Bronze 2, in the center with like the General. We see that there's a single Barbed Skirmisher brought on the field, interesting choice. 2 Germanic Pikes defending the center of, looks like, 4 Scattershot Hurlers. Interesting, just bring in only Scattershot Hurlers. Very interesting choice here for the Burgundians. Now, the build of the Huns though, we see the Steppe Chieftain, Bronze 1. Up front we have 4 Steppe Bows, looks like 2 on each flank. In terms of the cavalry contingent, well, we have 1, 2, 3 Steppe Cataphracts, 4 Steppe Cataphracts, 5 Steppe Cataphracts, and 2 Steppe Lancers, Bronze 2. So definitely, I wonder about this composition. No noble Steppe Cataphracts, lead Hunnic Lancers, or any such units, it seems. In terms of the infantry contingent, well, how many oars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 4 oar warriors in the center. And then 2 chosen oars on the left and 2 chosen oars on the right. So this is like 8 strong, very strong infantry units for the Huns here that they have brought. Also the Steppe Lancers, the 2 of them have Bronze 2, not sure if I mentioned that. But yeah, clearly big skirmish advantage here for the Burgundians. Also cavalry advantage, I mean they have Royal Lancers and Barbed Lancers against weak Steppe Lancers and Steppe Cataphracts, something that definitely has to be kept in mind. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, this build, I can definitely see it working for the Huns, but not bringing the heavier cav just seems a bit of a risk. But definitely still a very good build, honestly. Because I do like the 8 strong infantry units against Burgundians, and it makes sense because you want to kill those Burgundian axemen. Though then you have to make sure that you don't engage prematurely with your cav, because if you do, they're just gonna get destroyed by all these Barbed and Royal Lancers that the Burgundians can bring to the table. So just more skirmishing going on right now. These Steppe Bows are getting destroyed by Scattershot Hurlers, but Scattershot Hurlers using a lot of ammo to do this though, which is not ideal in my opinion. This is not ideal. As you can see, these guys they can get focused as well. They have 10 armor and 78 health, so not the best. Here, I kind of like how the Burgundians are pushing with like the Scattershot Hurlers. This is a bit weird, so I guess it must be another desync. This looks weird, what's happening over here. But targeting the ores, not a bad choice, but not going to do a lot of damage. The cataphracts, though, are going to die very fast to these scattershot hurlers. Just going to need to do some damage early on. I mean, though the missile damage is not great, so... I mean, against the step cataphracts, against step lancers, should still do some damage because, as you can see, they're not the best in terms of armor and health compared to like the heavier cataphract units, heavier cav units of the Huns. So they're going to take damage. Here, these wars, I mean, still no kills onto these units yet, but we should see some kills soon. You can see the wars are starting to drop, and the more HP damage they take. Now they're actually getting shot at their unshielded side, so wow, look at them drop right now. The cavalry units. Oh, here comes the cavalry engagement. Step cataphracts going to just disintegrate right now to the Royal Lancers, but not actually as quickly as I thought they would. Though the Burgundian Axemen getting in and kind of sitting there. Okay, as you can see here, Barb Lancers crushing the Step cataphracts. Same thing happening over here, and I wonder if these Royal Lancers want to pull out right now. Ooh, cavalry engagement here as well. The Barb Lancers going into these Step Lancers. Pikes in position here if necessary. And now, as you can see, cavalry of the Huns has died, the Step cataphracts. But it kind of actually is, it has made sure that these Lancers are kind of not going to be too useful anymore. And the cataphracts came back, so I wonder, this was not so bad for the Huns actually, because they definitely did a lot of damage to the Burgundian Lancers, which are much more expensive. However, here, as you can see, the Barb Lancers dying and 2 Step cataphracts. So again, not a bad trade for the Huns. More Barb Lancers coming in here though, and if they get a proper charge off, looks like they are slowed down, so not the best charge. But this charge should still be significantly damaging. It just connects with so many units. It has connected with so many units. Oh my goodness, 80 kills on this Barb Lancer on the charge against all these expensive War Warriors. Well, Barb Lancer is kind of expensive. Now it's holding up 4 War Warriors, so I definitely like that trade for the Burgundians. Here it looks like, oh, the Cavalrians pull back. They don't want to charge that unit, but it is getting focused right now. Or is it? No, it's not. Barb Lancer is coming back into the fray. However, these Barb Lancers trying to kill the Step Chieftain. Step Chieftain actually engaging the pikes. Now going to pull out of here. Is going to take a lot of damage. These Barb Lancers still going to end up dying. But Burgundian Axemen can now flank, and these units could potentially rout, actually, because there are so few. On the right, though, the Burgundian Axemen not doing great. These ones over here going to rout off the field. Ooh, but the general is gone for the Huns, though. That definitely has to be said. This is very important for a very important moment in the game. But yeah, with the general dead for the Huns, this is massive right now. The Burgundian Axemen coming into these chosen wars as well. It's going to do so much damage here to these chosens. And right now these wars are taking a lot of damage to these pikes as well. More charges coming in for the Royal Lancers. And it's just looking great right now for the Burgundians. Another charge here by the Scattershot Rollers, but into the Step Bows. That is quite interesting. The general of the Burgundians engaging, but this is a bit risky. I still wonder if... Yeah, this is just very weird. I don't think this is how it's supposed to go. I mean, especially considering, like, at this point, it's supposed to be... It's not supposed to be 4-0. It's not supposed to be 4-0 this match. I mean, I know for a fact that after this game, it's supposed to be 3-1. Whether it was because of this game or the game before that or any other, I don't know. But definitely this is not how it's supposed to end. So yeah, at this point it should be 3-1 for Orgetorix. One of these games was desynced, unfortunately. Again, I do not understand why this game would desync with just such an easy hotfix, it seems. That doesn't really change balance, so why would it mess with the replays anyway? But yeah, that is game. So it should be 3-1 for Orgetorix. Take away one of the games that he won, I guess. Put it into Asseror's favor. Just, yeah, don't get it. But yeah, I shall see you in game 5. So this is game 5. Score is currently 3-1 for Orgetorix of Agartha. Yes, 3-1. It's not 4-0 despite how the replays showed that it was. They were wrong. Extremely wrong, to say the least. But anyway, this is potentially, yeah, this is match point for Orgetorix again, just like last game, maybe, or I don't know exact which game he won. He lost, I mean. But yeah, let's look over the factions. We have Sassanids for Orgetorix and Elements for Asseror. Let's go over the Sassanid build though. We have Sovereign Sardar, Bronze 3 General with, seems to be Warcry and Scare, so it's double morale debuff. It's -14. That's, you know what, that's pretty interesting to stack those minus morale abilities. Very, very interesting. It's actually a lot of morale if you stack both of them. What is it, like 13? Let's see. It's -9 with -5. Okay, it's -14, which is pretty impressive. Up front, we have, seems to be 3 Persian hurlers and 2 Armenian slingers, the Armenian slingers being on the flanks. We have 2 Pushtig-Ban cataphracts on the right, 2 Pushtig-Ban cataphracts on the left, and looks like some Griff Banvar as well. 3 Griff Banvar cataphracts in the center. And in terms of the infantry contingent, well, let's see. 1, 2 Dalamite warriors, is it? Okay, no, 1 Dalamite warrior in the center, 1 Dalamite on the right, and 1 Dalamite on the left. And on each flank, we also have a Stogdian warrior, by the way. And what do we have for the elements? Let's see. By the way, I'm definitely gonna say that this is an interesting matchup because the elements can actually beat the Sassanids, believe it or not. They have some very cool units, but we'll see if they were actually brought to the field here. So, let's go over the element build. We have the Gnomodar's Entourage. This is a Cav Gen with Brace. As for the other units, well, we have 2 Noble Germanic Horsemen on the left. Seems like in the center, a Germanic Lancer. On the right flank, though, 4 Noble Germanic Horsemen. In the center, 3 Germanic Pikes with 3 Germanic Hurlers. We have only 1 Ballistari, or 1 Germanic Crossman. Well, I say only 1. It's interesting that he actually brought a single unit of those, actually. And we have a Germanic Bow as well. So, decent skirmish setup for the elements. Made a lot more expensive with this Germanic Crossbowman. Interesting choice. Then we have 2 Bejeweled Nobles on each flank. And honestly, I'm not sure about this build, and I'm gonna tell you why. Well, basically, the elements have a unit called the Elite Alemannic Scavengers, which could actually prove to be very damaging to the cavalry of the Sassanids. And the cavalry of the Sassanids is the main thing here. That's the main problem that the elements have to deal with. So it is interesting that these elite Alemannic Scavengers were not brought, or the regular Scavengers as well, just because they are so good against the cavalry. But I guess he just prefers to go strong infantry, melee infantry against melee infantry, which we'll see if it works for him, because he's gonna have a rough time dealing with the Sassanid cavalry. But here we go. Looks like we're gonna have some interesting things happening here. The Pikes charging into the Slingers. Armenian Slingers taking so much damage here, but the Germanic Pikes also taking significant casualties. Looks like they're gonna get some charges off onto these Slingers. Now as these Slingers pull back, they're gonna take even more damage. As you can see here, the Lancers did get shot at by the Armenian Slingers. Just more kiting happening. Let's just fast forward because it doesn't look like much is going to happen here. Actually, all these units are blobbed up so heavily. Like 4 of these skirmishers super blobbed up and they can barely fire now. These Dalamites coming in, they actually will be able to destroy the Germanic Pikes very nicely. And this Pike unit looks like it's gonna get targeted, or an air throw by the Dalamite warriors. Now it's the real throw. Looks like these Pikes trying to attack the Persian hurlers from the side, but this Pike unit's gonna die. It's just got rear charged by the Dalamite warriors, so it's gonna be goodbye Pike unit. Over here, this Dalamite warrior is in shield wall, so Yeah, looks like Nomadar's entourage does not want to charge that. um, see, as well as the Persian hurlers, making sure that it's slower. Something to keep in mind. But now these crossbowmen are firing onto the Dalemite warriors, and these guys are going to do a lot of damage to the Dalemite warriors. That is a fact. But yeah, looks like more skirmishing going on. These hurlers trying to destroy the Armenian slingers. Let's just fast forward again then, because as you can see, nothing really is happening over here. It looks like there's going to be a minor engagement here. Yeah, the Bejeweled Nobles are not in shield wall, so that is interesting. But again, these Bejeweled Nobles, very tanky. 62 armor, 149 health. Very decent melee defense, but look at their crappy charge bonus and their stats in terms of how well they can attack enemy units. They're not very good at that at all, as you can see, but they are in shield wall now, so they have, okay, yeah, they are in shield wall, so their stats, look at that melee defense now, pretty insane. But yeah, looks like now they're just going to disengage. Again, they can take a lot of damage from skirmishers before they go down. That is not their weakness. Unless it's crossbows, of course. Crossbows kill everything. But these Germanic crossbowmen actually have their vision obstructed by the general unit himself, it seems. So that is why they cannot fire. Definitely something important. Let's fast forward right now. You can see the pike is actually routed off the field. Okay, we have a cav charge here by the Griff Bombard Cataphracts into the Bejeweled Nobles. So it kind of knocked the whole unit down and pulled out immediately, and as he did that, what did he lose? He lost 0 and he killed 62 Bejeweled Nobles. Well, if that's not a cost-effective engagement, tell me what is then. So these Dalemites here in shield wall doing fairly well against the Germanic hurlers, but I really like that charge in and pull out as the unit is on the ground. This is very, very effective for assassins here. Just very, very well done by that cavalry unit, just to take advantage of the elements not paying attention. And it's very annoying when that happens to you. Like, you're like, oh, I lost half a unit for nothing. Like, I wonder if you even did a tiny bit of HP damage to this Griff Bombard. Probably not, because the whole unit was actually down on the ground, so it was unable to strike back essentially. So that was, I would say, an MLG move by the assassins. Let's see, all these slingers have are out of ammo right now, and the thing is, they should have actually targeted the Germanic crossbowmen, honestly, but because now they're out of ammo and they didn't really do much with that ammo. Okay, they did some damage, I suppose, but not something that I would consider to be very cost effective. But yeah, sooner or later there's gonna be an engagement happening. But these Griff Bombards, wow, that poor Bejeweled Noble, it was very heavy. It was a very heavy unit that got charged and completely destroyed. So here it looks like the Dalemite warriors are gonna get shot in the rear, so they're gonna take significant damage. These guys are not in shield wall, so they will take more damage from missiles. Germanic hurlers here going into the Armenian slingers. This is gonna be interesting, but the Armenian slingers should win this engagement. Here you can see the Alaman general coming into the fray, but very interesting, pushing forward with the slingers like this to kill the enemy slingers. But now it looks like the Griff Bombard Cataphracts moving in. He might actually try and go for a charge on the general if his unit doesn't rout. Looks like it does, so now the elements just pull out the general as soon as that happens. They don't want to lose their general. These slingers over here coming back actually, and the bows targeting these cavalry units. So some decent amount of damage being done. These crossbowmen are also going to be very, very annoying for assassins. They're actually firing and gotten 100 kills. Wow. Now these Griff Bombards need to turn back and get the charge, but it looks like they did not get the charge. However, on this side, Noble Germanic Horsemen getting destroyed by Pushtigbans, wow, and Griff Bombards, respectively. There's also infantry support for the Sassanids. Here it looks like the same thing, Noble Germanic Horsemen. Looks like they got a rear charge onto the Griff Bombard, which is great, but now the Sogdian warriors are in the fight, so they're going to just do so much damage onto the enemy cavalry. Another engagement here, very nicely done using diamond formation, but yeah, the Pushtigban is doing weird things because of that, and it did not get many kills on the charge actually. It's something to keep in mind. Here we have another cav charge. Griffbombards coming into the fray here, but not the best angle, though this side has just been mopped up by the Sassanids. We should see Pushtigbans going around for some rear charges and such. Here though, looks like the Griffbombar is going to pull out, but Noble Germanic Horsemen here going to die. These Sogdians are not going to do too well either, but the General is still alive for both players, I believe, and but the Alaman one has engaged in combat. Very important here, the Armenian Slingers getting into the Germanic Crossbowmen, making sure that they can't do more damage. As you can see here, right flank very well mopped up by the Armenians. Not Armenians, but I mean Sassanids. Noble Germanic Horsemen here going to pull out. Gonna lose a couple of men as they pull out, but should not be too significant. Here though, these Daylamites are not doing weird things. Perhaps they're not supposed to be on the field. We have another cav charge here by this Griffbombard Cataphract. This Griffbombard Cataphract has done so much damage throughout this whole game. All these kills it's getting right now. It's going to get another charge onto this Bejeweled Noble. Do more damage. Pushtigmans here going to steady up to make themselves even more powerful in melee. So here it looks like this Griffbombard is going to get a cav charge onto the enemy general. What an MLG Griffbombard as well. Pushtigman here going to lose the Noble Germanic Horseman. I mean, that's pretty normal because it's in prolonged melee. It just does a lot of damage in the beginning though. So it looks like the Sogdians here are going to start routing soon, but they've gotten some kills on the Bejeweled Nobles. And all these units for the Sassanids are going to be freed up very soon, and it's just going to be over. So these Bejeweled just fighting, and they're not actually in shield wall. Ooh. That charged into the rear of his own men though. Not doing much, and this cavalry is stationary. I wonder if it's actually the game or not. Yeah, the Bejeweled Nobles here fighting to the last man. But they're just not gonna like getting destroyed here. I can tell you that much. The Sovereign Sardar is doing fairly well against them, that is for sure. And that is game. So let's look at the stats. Lots of the kills made by these Cataphract units for Sassanids. Again, I did say that the Sassanid Cav was going to be hard to stop. Looks like that was the case. Let's look at the elements though. Nomaders and Entourage getting some kills, but some of them were again on like useless units like the Slingers that were out of ammo. Bejeweled Nobles clearly not doing very well, especially because they got charged by Cataphracts. And the Noble Germanics overall, as you can see here, not a lot of work done. Germanic Crossbowmen doing some damage, but were unable to carry the game because by that point it was way too much in Orgetorix's favor. Again, this replay also looked weird, but who knows. It is a 4-1 victory for Orgetorix though, so congratulations to Orgetorix for winning the new era tournament. Hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see more, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Share the video, and I shall see you next time.